Surprise Dave on this one. Let me know. Let's. I'm gonna load up to make sure our audio levels and all that stuff because I.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because it's like, why are we late? Because we've been fucking arguing for the last 10 minutes.
Watch your mouth. Watch your mouth. It's a PG show. I'm sitting here giving Dave a bunch of crap about PG versus non-PG and all this stuff. Let me turn up my volume here. There we go. Okay, we're live. Rock and roll. All right, we'll see how many people even got in here tonight. Stand by, gang. We've got there's a couple of behind-the-scenes stuff that we got going on tonight. Number one, the reason why you are currently seeing a blank screen or like the big picture of our branding and all that stuff is I'm going to attempt to run the newest build that we got from our boy Robert, and it looks like I am succumbing to the same error that y'all are, a lot of you guys are, because I'm coming up short in my Dave, you can make fun of me if you want. I'm coming up short of my RAM size.
You are.
You know what? There's no. I can't even backpedal out of that. But I'm running into and okay. Here's another one. Here's a little alley-oop for you, Dave. I'm having memory issues. I can't seem to boot this up. So what I'm going to do is, if you guys will indulge me, I'm going to attempt to run the latest build. So that our boy Robert here can kind of see what it looks like in action. So I'm going to be clicking a lot of buttons here at once, and you guys may hear noises and all that kind of stuff in the background with the background music and all that stuff. But I'm going to try to simulate this as quickly as I can. So stand by. I'm going to load this up. And let's hit play. And let's come over here and add... Okay. Sorry, Dave, entertain the masses while I'm loading up the game.
Okay. Okay. Hey guys.
All right. So.
How we do?
Sorry. No good. Yeah. Thanks, Dave. Yeah. Gong.
Hey. Gong. Hey, look at that.
Yeah, okay, so this is what I'm getting to. And it took me about, 10 seconds to actually load up that screen. What you guys weren't seeing in the background is I had a full white screen, and I was getting the not responding error message there, Dave. And so finally I'm loaded up here. And so what I'm running into, let's go the whole way here. You guys will notice that this is the new build and with the new UI and everything. I don't think that's the issue. I'm going to load up it's definitely not Sting Wrestler for sure. And I like who's the other guy here? Jack Blaze actually looks like a real wrestler. He's kind of got the wrestler Mickey Rourke thing kind of happening for him here. All right, so this is what I'm running into. I'm loading. I'm getting the not responding message in the corner. That's the first time I've seen that message. It's the first time I've tried to load up a four-way. So let's see what happens here. Okay, you're seeing the crowd? Like we got the mannequin lady in the background. I'm gonna call her like fake Canadian lady. And then boom, kaboom. Windows has stopped working, or the program has stopped responding. So that's where I crash out at.
Damn. Oh, I see what you mean. You know what we got a problem with? I see the problem right now.
What's that?
Texture size and loading. Nothing's been optimized, right? Because we've been banging this thing out on like beasts of workstations, you know? So we never had this problem. Nobody on the crew until tonight had any sort of issue with textures or memory crashing. And no one still has, except for Eric. In fact, I was ready to push this build to Steam because it actually worked better for me. So, welcome to the complex, magical world of remote game development.
Well, this is why we do this, man. Yeah. This is why we have these Twitch chats. This is why we do all this stuff. What you guys are seeing in the background now, Dave, I have put your screen. What we're doing is Dave's got more RAM than I do and more memory. And so we're gonna try to do like he's sharing his screen over Skype here tonight, so the quality might be a little rougher than usual. But again, Gong show, you guys are used to it. It's all good. So so Dave, like I said, we're currently on the pause menu, and so that's what everybody's seeing right now. So Joe is blaming me that I broke it. Hogwash.
I would just like to point out that nobody has this issue but Eric and his Radio Shack computer.
I am happy. I am happy to represent the poor folks out there who can't put 8 gigs of RAM in their machine. I am happy to represent the. In fact, we were just talking about this. How I'm potentially becoming the grumpy old man of the group, and I'm going to be the one who. If this thing can't run on a gig of RAM, and 40 megs of hard drive space, then this is total BS. And so I'm going to be that guy right now. And that's the other thing, because I was just talking to Dave earlier, kind of before we got started, is that we've got our build sizes have been steadily increasing. So we're getting things like, we started off at 200 meg, and then the next build was 300, then 400. We're all the way up to like 715 now. Not that we're approaching the 14 gig that some of these. Oh no, are you doing a pulling pile driver?
Pulling pile.
Oh shit! Sorry, there was something shiny in my eye. There was something shiny on my screen. I had to hold that thought. So Dave, okay, you remember the details a little bit better than I do. Eric, you need at least 120 gig. 120 gig, yeah. It's like I said, and I could soup this machine up a little bit. I built this machine. I could throw a couple extra RAM chips in there. But for me, I don't mind being the tester guy for oh shit, is that a diamond cutter?
That didn't happen.
Oh no, we probably wasn't supposed to. We weren't supposed to show that, were we?
Yeah, supposed to show that.
Sorry, way to go.
Nobody saw. Yeah,
see, this is what happens when you let Dave now run the video stream of what you're seeing on the screen. It also means that he's going to beat his opponent. Let's just be fair and right up front about that. Is that he will actually be victorious. And you put the interference mode on. Ladies and gentlemen, I have to full disclose, we did turn it off. We did. We do have a button on there.
What happens if I turn it off in the middle of a match when he's already coming? Let's find out.
Let's find out if he disappears. Hey, we found an Easter egg on how to get the guy to stop interfering. He just poof. Nope, he comes in.
Look at that car. That's a really good. That looks like G-Rush.
It does look like G-Rush. Yeah, one of the other big changes in the build is that Robert has put in capability for up to 10 Creator Wrestler slots, and he filled them with some of his creations, some of which
templates.
Are potential copyright infringement in this current mode, but we're just going to pretend it's inspired by. It's our non-union Mexican equivalent of Sting. It's not the real Sting.
It's definitely no worse than, oh man, I don't want to call out my buddies, but if Matt Dickey and 5 Star haven't been sued for copyright infringement, we're certainly not going to.
Fair enough. That's fair enough.
Yeah. That was a really cool takedown I just did.
Yeah, it was. I haven't seen that one before. Our oh crap, I can't. How do I dance around who did that for us?
Okay, I'll tell a story.
Do you want to touch on that?
I'll tell a story. Sure. Let's plant the seeds for this now.
I am anxious to see how you cover this as well.
Yeah, this is one of those things that's going to be an urban legend that we're going to delete this video one day and never ever, talk about it ever happening.
Well, it's just us. It's just us and our Twitch friends. It's just us. It's just us. Nobody else has ever.
So basically. So basically, our lovely lead artist is Isaac Yankem, and he's going to go away for a little while and never come back. Actually, but Kane is actually going to show.
That's right. Yes. We may have a new artist from Parts Unknown.
Exactly.
Debuting for the crew.
And he might look and move familiarly, but he won't be the same guy. And I don't think it matters. I'll just say, because the guy who used to animate and do art for us was informed by his employer that he's not allowed to really do that if he likes his job. So he's gone. He's been released. He's been future endeavor.
Yeah,
but not to work.
We wish Cola well on his future endeavors. We really do.
Endeavors. Yeah, exactly. And we look forward to introducing, Mr. America.
That's right. Yeah. Cola's brother Abel.
Yeah. Exactly. Flair has left the building, and the Black Scorpion is here. For some reason.
It is. It is Curryman. It is Mr. Wrestling 5.
Yeah.
So yeah,
that's all good.
Yeah. So hi, Mr. Wrestling 5. Thanks for all your help with the new moves. Chat has no idea what the hell's going on. Yeah, I think it's starting to click, but we're just, like I said, the official story is we wish Cola well in his future endeavors. But
exactly.
we welcome our new Mr. Wrestling 5 Overlord.
Yeah, the super machines.
That's right. What is wrong with us?
It's funny because we're laughing, but for him, it's really serious.
It's very serious.
I apologize for laughing if he who shall not be named is listening to this Twitch broadcast.
We wish
we
you
don't
well.
We don't mean to make light of it. It's just the way we're handling it is. Uh-oh, what's this?
Oh no!
Boom!
Oh, look at that! That is a Jericho style underhook backbreaker. Is that the official?
Oh yeah.
I believe that's the official. I'm so bad with some of that kind of stuff, but it's all.
Why did the camera zoom out? I taunted. That was weird. Not that I don't mind the taunt, but yeah, you'll see that in my system here. Eric, how much RAM do you have?
4 gig is what I'm running.
Yeah, you see, not that this is an excuse, but I'm running 8 gigs, and I don't have any of the issues. In fact, I
am certain. Look at that! Look at that! This is what's driving me nuts. Is because I desperately wanted to play these things and mess around with them here tonight. So I said I really, really, really wanted to.
I just wonder why that knocked us both out. But,
well, it's because it's all good, but. That's still, the Dragon Suplex looks so tight. What else? What other moves did our Mr. Wrestling 5 animate for us? We got a new Diamond Cutter.
Double underhook backbreaker. We've got the.
We've got another thing coming, but it's not. It's still a special surprise.
I see what you did there.
So that's not in yet, correct?
It's not in yet because he animated it after this update was delivered. So
okay, the Mr. Wrestling 5 did. Mr. Wrestling 5 did. Okay, gotcha.
And if everything works out, the game will be traveling even farther into We Love Aki Land.
Yeah, you guys will lose your shit because
yeah, I did. I lost my shit over the little freaking preview he posted on the crew forum.
That Mr. Wrestling 5 posted to their crew forum. Yeah. Oh, look at that.
Jesus!
That is so tight. I love that. That looks so good. Nope. So I'm bummed. We said we were looking to hopefully get the new build out here, but I said right now it's just we got to make sure that we get some of this stuff optimized first because we know I know I'm not the only one running 4 megs of RAM out there because we had. Quite a number, not quite a number, but a not insignificant number of people saying the same thing in some of our forums. And thank you to everybody who helped us out with sending us crash reports. That makes things tremendously so much easier.
I have to show this off, man, because this is we've replaced all the signs because we've had most of them, right?
Dave is responsible for all this content. I am just throwing this out here right now.
These are all mine?
I think these are all yours. The one that confused the hell out of everybody is that, at least it confused me. I was like, what, we're endorsing candidates for president now? And then I looked a little closer. It's like, oh.
It's Sanders Keel.
That's
The
pretty funny.
producer, just inside joke.
See, when it took me a second, but I got it, and that one like made me. I said, okay, that's pretty funny. Now, some of your humor, Dave, I'm a little, some of those is a little, you don't have to deliberately misspell the signs. You don't have to do that. Like WUZ is nobody types that. Like, people wrestling fans may not be the most, we're not always, but they do things like mix up like you're next, YOUR next. Which would actually be a pretty funny sign for our next round. But they are capable of that one's good. I like that one.
You like that one?
I do like that one. That one's a little more subtle. And
that was going to be actually inside joke amongst us, because the developers, whenever we have a discussion on a new mechanic and something we're going to add, everybody just reverts to, well, what did they do in No Mercy in virtual processing? Yeah, what would Aki do? Yeah.
We have push the update. It's not our fault. Eric's machine sucks. So, you know what, Joe? You suck. No, you suck.
Well, the problem is Eric didn't have this problem with the previous updates.
Yeah,
the
I've
fact
been able to play all the other builds. I got some of the errors, but it would eventually load. Can't you release the beta build? People could choose to opt in. We could do that. We've actually kind of talked a little bit about that in terms of setting up like a beta for like people who like backed us on Kickstarter or our early backers, like people who gave us money in 2004, like having a private channel available to them. But it also at the same time, like I said, that takes a little bit more work. We got to coordinate, get everybody passwords and all that kind of stuff. And I think the idea is that okay, we got a wide enough variety in our systems across the board that we're going to be able, like somebody's going to be able to catch something, just like I caught this thing here tonight. And then what Robert does is he goes back and checks these Twitch broadcasts and he'll go fix the stuff. Like last week, I was running into issues where I couldn't climb the top rope, and he's got that fixed again in this build. Which, if you want to take that for a test,
exactly.
Yep. So we're getting there. We're getting there slowly but surely. But like I said, we got to make sure that this thing is ready for prime time before we roll it out. And I know Robert would be disappointed. He busts his ass trying to get these things out the door. And hopefully, again, I'm not going to put any responsibility on him, like in terms of, but just like, he's going to be all over it and he'll take care of it just like he does all the rest of them. It sucks because I know he wants to keep doing new and awesome stuff to keep blowing us up, blowing and everybody else out of the water, and that's so great. But now it might be time for like a boring update to just make sure that like people like me with the crappy ass systems can still play the game. So
yeah, exactly.
So Robert, if you're out there, my brother, thank you very much for all your help. And yeah, sorry, I felt really bad because I know he works so hard trying to get these things ready for our broadcasts, and I felt bad. I didn't mean. I had kind of posted something on our forum saying, "Hey, I'm really sorry, guys, but here's a crash report. Sorry." So,
Robert, if you're watching this, why is the attacker staying down just as long as the defender?
Are you tired? You fatigued?
Suplex? Why would I be? I don't even have
I haven't been paying
attention.
Oh, so that's just me that takes all that damage?
That's weird.
Yeah, I noticed the same thing. I do the same thing. I actually think I'm wondering if he has built in some kind of a fatigue mechanism, because I was running into that with my build as well last week. For long matches, you absolutely stay down as long.
Yeah, I'm staying down now. You know what? I'm going to actually turn on the HUD. Tyranor should be rocking. By looking at the HUD, my energy's fine. But yeah, maybe there's a fatigue mechanic going on now.
Which would make sense. I mean, you're at like a 10-minute mark for a match. I mean, that is, that would.
Here's what I wonder. Yeah, I wonder if I Irish whip him into the ropes from here, if he bounces back.
Oh, Diamond Cutter.
Oh, he does.
Shit, yeah. Oh, you've got to do that again, and then take that and do the super screen, the screenshot mode with the super slow mo. I have got to see that with super slow mo.
Hey, I'm glad you brought that up because we're talking about.
Saying, sorry to interrupt, but Joe is saying attacker staying down as long as the defender has been around since the last update. So,
Interesting.
yep,
Okay,
yep.
I should play my game more. I didn't notice that.
Well, maybe what you
Okay.
just need to do is play your game longer. Because I think, like I said, I'm wondering if it's a fatigue mechanism.
Maybe.
Because usually in the beginning of the match, he starts off pretty strong. But maybe that's just because the opponents, I don't know.
Hey, this is a funny thing too. Nobody's mentioned before. Robert, if you're watching, check out the shadow projection.
Oh, we
Shadow's
got a little.
projecting on where the floor would be and not where the ramp.
Is he
apparently.
hovering? He's hovering, isn't he?
I don't know if he's hovering or if the ramp
Go.
itself.
Why don't you
is-
launch into a screenshot mode and see if, and then zoom around and see if his feet are even touching the ground.
That is a very, very.
Because I know he did fix.
It is. See? Oh, look at in
No, he-
screenshot mode. Well, okay, it's off a little bit, but that's almost acceptable.
Yeah, because so he's on. So they're on the platform. Yeah.
They're on the platform.
See, I said we're really picking nits here. I mean, these are, like I said, these are these really, really tight things that are just. It's hard to catch all this kind of stuff.
These are the things that are like, 0.01% of the amount of work we have to do that most gamers interested in a fun wrestling game couldn't give two shits about, but that some random reviewer would give us a negative recommendation because of.
Yeah. Well, and in all honesty, Robert said that this may be something that Robert can fix with a single mouse click. I mean, sometimes some of that stuff is just you just. Having done this, and not for game programming, but like web programming. In fact, I just got done with one today where my site, I did a benign software update, and of course, it brought the whole damn thing down. And so I had to rebuild the whole thing on the fly. And you fix one thing, and it causes 18 other problems in other areas. So you get 17 of the 18 fixed, and then you still got that one that's sitting out there.
Yeah.
Geez, Dave, play your game more. Yeah,
I know.
yeah.
I
PewDiePie
know.
would definitely. Was PewDiePie the one that really massacred us? I can't even remember anymore.
No, if he played our game, we would have sold a million copies on a bad review.
That's probably
Like,
true.
he's so popular.
I
He was
wish
on
I'd
the
only be
Colbert.
so lucky.
I know, right? Hey, you never know.
Hey, do a diamond cutter from there, or do that. I want to see a slow mo diamond cutter. See, don't you like being
Slow-mo.
over the shoulder director? Isn't that great? You used to just have to you let me just go and do my own little thing. So, but yeah, it's quiet in chat tonight. Joe's kind of our only lone voice here tonight, but that's all right. That's all right.
Can you do an Irish whip from a back grapple?
No,
I don't think so. Okay.
I don't know, Dave. Can you play your game already?
You will. You should be able to. Okay.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
that's what I'm talking about. See, that screenshot mode.
Oh, look at that.
Hit A real quick to just take a quick snapshot, and then so that menu disappears. Oh,
I gotta
look at
ask.
that!
That's sex right there. I gotta ask, is there any other wrestling game, indie, WWE, or otherwise, that has screenshot mode?
DVD.
WWE. Yeah, I'm not sure if anybody else does this.
So
Why would they want
that's
to?
I like that little X icon on the guy's tights. That must be like a wolf pack kind of a thing.
Really?
I don't know.
No, I'm surprised that, as a graphic designer, that you would approve of programmer art. in any shape or
Dude,
form.
I have seen the state of indie tights, and that's looking okay. That's looking exactly on par with what.
Well,
look
here we-
at that! Oh my god! Bam!
Boom.
Dude, is that not fun? Holy crap! That
That
looks so
is
good.
awesome.
That's so good. See, that's the thing that we need to be posting to Instagram is do an animated GIF of just that.
Yeah, and Tumblr as well. Hey, speaking of our Tumblr account,
Oh, fuck no. I'm sorry. Tumblr. Sorry. PG.
this is real life, which is not PG. It's all good, man. But the
God.
Tumblr account I was looking at the other day, you posted a really good blog post to there.
I know, and Tumblr's for 12-year-olds. It really is.
That's all right. 12-year-olds will one day be 18-year-olds with credit cards and Steam accounts.
That's fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, we'll
the
get
Mr. Burns in me says Tumblr.
there.
It's
Yeah,
all
we'll
good.
get there. We're trying to. We've been talking about our social strategy, and I just the eyes go into the back of my head when I start talking about social medias and all their social media jagoffs and douchebags and all this stuff, and I hate. I don't know. I hate some of this stuff that is just everybody's got to have all these 18 different accounts, and we're trying. So we're trying some different stuff. You guys have seen some. Dave's been posting stuff on Instagram, and he's Lord help us all. He's got Photoshop or something now, and he's been doing.
Oh, be grateful I'm not using Windows so I can paint. It's all good.
No, Windows Paint. I got no problem. No, I'm just giving a hard time. In fact, one of the things we were discussing is one of my pet peeves, and is I can't stand the like everything is barbed wire and hardcore and blood and guts and ECW and all this kind of stuff, and it feels like a dead era to me. Whereas Dave was arguing that that's our audience and all this kind of stuff, and it's an interesting just like all wrestling fans, we're not going to be uniform on this, but it's been an interesting debate between us to try to figure out that whole balance of the blood and the guts and all that stuff, and I just feel like I'm totally over all that stuff.
Well, yeah, you are, and you might continue to be. I think the reason
where's Jack or whatever his name is? Where's he?
He's
going?
Coming back. Don't worry. There he goes. In the name, you know what? He's gonna just totally. I gotta stop him. He's gonna bounce off these ropes. Okay, come on. The hardcore aspect of things, it's always been our strategy to do what WWE can't, and try to distance ourselves and make ourselves, unique in any way we can, because we're competing with a freaking giant, right? In some way. And so the hardcore stuff, people need to know that Pro Wrestling X, even though it might not be a quote-unquote hardcore barbed wire blood game, it's capable of that,
Absolutely.
And I think that's...
And you'll get no argument from me there. You'll get no argument from me there.
Yeah, and the fact that WWE is, by their own choice, painted into this PG corner, that's great for them. We're not painted into that corner, and again, obviously, our story mode doesn't have to drop the F-bomb every second word, and it's not going to, but it can. And that sets us apart, and people need to know that, right?
Well, I think that's kind of what my whole beef like ECW, the original ECW had some unbelievably great wrestling. You had Mysterio, you had Guerrero, you had Malenko, you had RVD, and I feel like the hardcore element, like when people say ECW, that's what people think of is the garbage wrestling, the weapons, the barbed wire, the chair shots, all this kind of stuff. And that's what I get afraid of, is I don't want to be painted into the other direction, like going too far the other direction, that we're like, that's the blood and guts game, because I think we could hang our hat on women's wrestling. I think we could hang our hat on the fun match types that you can have that WWE will never do in a million years, and not just the violent ones, but scaffold matches and different arenas and different. God, I love that pulling pile driver. That looks so good.
That's yeah, you're right, and all that stuff. I think all that stuff needs to be promoted heavily. But the hardcore blood aspect of it simply lends itself to an image so easily, right?
Yep. No, I'm with you, and that's the thing. That's where, like I said, I think there's got to be all I'm saying is I think there's got to be a balance. That's all and it just seems like a lot of our, because I remember a lot of our early marketing was, we're grumpy. mid-20s, we're grouchy, we hate the current product, we're so upset with everything, and we're rebelling, and we're all these just, I don't want to call them cliches, but just like dude, we're like old now. And like it's like when Metallica, when they had Kill 'Em All, that album, okay, they're 18, they're the young 20s, they're entitled to be upset. But when they're still making the same kind of albums after they've sold, 40 million albums worldwide, they got more money than they know what to count with. It's like they're still upset about something. They're still angry. It doesn't feel genuine to me, I guess, at a certain point. So I don't know.
So what's the parallel you're making then? You're saying like the hardcore, the blood aspect of Pro Wrestling X isn't genuine to you because you're not into that kind of wrestling?
I'm bored with it now. Yeah. For me, that's like, and I wonder, and I wonder. This is why I'm asking the question: is if fans of wrestling are sick of that stuff too? Like, do they need to
Well, you know
does
what?
chair shots? Does anybody still watch that? And like get off on that anymore? 'Cause I can't watch it anymore. Like when I see somebody taking a chair shot, like it like upsets me now, because like especially like if it's a head chair shot, like some of the old school guys, when they'll come out at like Undertaker will still occasionally throw a chair shot to the head. Like for me, that upsets me now, because it's like it's an unnecessary risk. They don't need to do that for me, for my entertainment. I don't want to see them get concussions.
I get you. I think that plays into where I believe the difference is between, a televised wrestling product with real people and the game. To me, I was always excited about the fact that I don't want real wrestlers to be jumping off of scaffolds through burning barbed wire tables.
Yes.
But in a wrestling game, that's where I want it.
Okay, no,
100%
agreement. I'm with you there. As long as, like I said, it's kind of I guess that's for me is like, okay, that's what I'm wondering, because you're right. I still love it in the game, and I will put people through tables like nobody's business. But I was curious, like I said, I'm wondering if I'm alone in that. If other fans of the product of wrestling in general, do they need to see the blood and guts anymore? For me, I almost, like I said, I cringe now. And I don't know if it's just the fact that I'm getting older and more conservative when you get older, but for me, I worry about these guys. I don't want them cut. I don't want them concussed. I like them to be around and to have lives after the fact. It's the same way I'm getting the same way watching football now, to be honest with you, too. That it's hard to watch these guys because that their bodies are going through hell. And it's like, I don't know. So Joe is chiming in and says he wants the option for color. Guys don't have to bleed like Shawn Michaels, but I want the option. Very fair. We have talked about blood controls too, at a certain, like parental controls for blood. I don't know if that's ever been seriously discussed, but we've talked. I know in years past we've talked about it.
Well, it's weird because we're on Steam now. Parental controls are almost a moot point because you can't get our game unless you're 18 with a credit card. So.
Yep.
But
like I said, I am not. Like I said, for me it was like that's where I was kind of like not objecting, but it's just like okay, like I think we said something like we're not making a game for 12-year-olds, that kind of stuff, and I was like, well, I think there's got to be a mix there somewhere.
Well, that's why I think Pro Wrestling X is all about the options.
Yeah, well, I was just going to say this has been our thing because this is actually a pretty good. I mean, we've talked about that where the crew is literally like 4 different kinds of like wrestling gamers in and of themselves. Some are a little more hardcore. Yeah. I'm more casual. You're obviously much more hardcore than I am. Cole is probably more hardcore, and I mean, you guys are probably a lot more hardcore about the games. But I've always been more of a casual game player when it comes to this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah, fire up the new character edits here. So
this is a great place for a conversation. He's added, our programmer has, I don't want to leave the conversation we're having so quickly, though, but basically, Pro Wrestling X being about the options is, I want the option to turn off all weapons.
Easily. And it needs to be more of a, like, I don't know, I'm using the term celebratory, but it's kind of gross, but it needs to feel like an accomplishment,
Wasn't it in Even No Mercy where the blood option was like never, seldom, and always, or easier?
Could be. I know that there was
something like that.
Create a wrestler attribute of like how they reacted to blood.
Yeah. So I mean, we're gonna do that. Like, I hope everyone understands that we're going to circle back and constantly evaluate things, and blood is one of those things where we know right now it's a crime scene if you make your guy bleed, and it's a hack right now. Well, not to insult Robert if you're listening, or programmer. When I say hack, I just mean that we worked in an easy way, which is basically 4 strong strikes to the face, you bleed. There's not much AI or stats going on there. But in the future, and we've been talking about this amongst the crew, we want things to be much more dynamic in that, like bleeding, you decide how easy it is, you decide how hard it is, and you decide if someone trickles a bit of blood, or if they bleed like. You remember that Beulah McGillicuddy, and who did she wrestle? What was his name?
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. I don't remember the name, but it was Alfonso.
Yeah, that was a.
Well, you had Undertaker that bled buckets, and you got Flair. I mean, you need a scale from like Hogan to Flair, Because Hogan would like bleed, but it'd be like a little tiny cut like above his eyebrow, and whereas Flair goes, the full, or like or Carino. Carino was another one. Me and my brother always used to joke about how Carino would like you'd sneeze on him and he'd be like full crimson mask and like in 2 minutes into the match. So.
Totally, man, totally. So we're gonna work on all that stuff for sure, man.
Yep.
I don't want Pro Wrestling X to be known as the trash backyard wrestling game by all means, but I just want people to have the freedom to take it there if they want to. Like load up the ring with fluorescent light tubes in every corner and chainsaws on the ground, whatever. I want them to have the option. And that's a cool thing. You're looking right now at the new edit screen for the wrestlers, and one thing that we kind of got into a little minor issue with is one of the wrestlers that Robert made a temp. What was his name?
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. I don't remember the name, but it was Alfonso.
Yeah, that was a
well. You had Undertaker that bled buckets, and you got Flair. I mean, you need a scale from like Hogan to Flair, because Hogan would like bleed, but it'd be like a little tiny cut like above his eyebrow, and whereas Flair goes, the full, or like or Carino. Carino was another one. Me and my brother always used to joke about how Carino would like you'd sneeze on him and he'd be like full crimson mask and like in 2 minutes into the match. So.
Totally, man, totally. So we're gonna work on all that stuff for sure, man.
Yep.
I don't want Pro Wrestling X to be known as the trash backyard wrestling game by all means, but I just want people to have the freedom to take it there if they want to. Like load up the ring with fluorescent light tubes in every corner and chainsaws on the ground, whatever. I want them to have the option. And that's a cool thing. You're looking right now at the new edit screen for the wrestlers, and one thing that we kind of got into a little minor issue with is one of the wrestlers that Robert made a template for looks an awful lot like a current Hall of Famer.
Now the thing is, I didn't see the long hair. Now the long hair helps it. Now he's kind of looks like cross, like he looks like okay.
Honestly, his makeup looks next to nothing like Sting, but Robert gave him the name of the Scorpion, which is obviously alluding to Sting. So when you read the Scorpion and see the wrestler, you see Sting.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when I first saw it, I thought Sting, because he used to do his face just like that. He didn't always have the big ornate crow decorations all over his face. It used to just have like a couple of little eye patches, and so again, I'm not gonna say it's just. But once I kind of saw it with the long hair. It that looks different enough. Maybe that that looks. But when I just upon okay, yeah, he looks like who's the there's a band. I don't think it's Guar that has a guy that looks like that.
There's 1,000,001 Norwegian death metal bands that wear the corpse.
That's actually yes. I actually think that is like a Norwegian. Oh, it's Deathlock. From Cartoon Network.
Oh, okay, cool.
You remember them?
Yeah, I do, man. Hey,
yeah, it looks like a mix of Sting and Vampiro, which that was the other thing I was going to say. It's kind of like their love child.
Yeah. Oh God, you just pictured them both having sex. That's bizarre. Okay, because you need to do that.
DNA is a weird thing. He doesn't have to, babe. That's not how babies are made. I hate to break it to you. That's not.
Well, not for lack of trying, Eric.
Oh my dear Lord.
Okay. New things in this bill.
Quick, move on. Eject.
Something people have been asking for when you move to a body part you want to edit, the camera now zooms in so you can see it a bit better. Right.
That is awesome. That is very helpful.
If Warrior was a lot, you want to talk about gimmick infringement?
Yeah, as maybe another. Yeah.
I'd like to up the resolution on some of these textures too, man. Obviously,
Robert did what he did. I mean, it's all like I said. It looks great. Yeah. I actually think it's not horrible. I think it's great for. I'm going to use the term programmer art, but I think it's even pretty good for just a pretty good stab at it anyway. So I'm not going to bag it as.
But check this out. This is the really cool part. When you go to hair now, you have more than one option for. Oh, that's facial hair. God damn it. Head hair. All right, look. We have more than one hair.
My hairline. Look at that.
There you go, right?
Oh, there you go. That's coming closer to my hairline right there. We need a full-blown. Oh God, the horseshoe. We need the full-blown.
Oh yeah, I know.
That's
right?
the skullet. That's the skullet's a pretty hot one,
Skullet,
too.
yeah. So we got a few hair options that we didn't have before. Cola actually went and
Who did?
oh, did I? Yeah,
Mr. Wrestling 5?
Mr. Wrestling 5. Yeah, look at that hairstyle he did. That's actually kind of cool.
It does look great. That's what I'm saying. Like
Yep.
the Jack, whatever no, who was it?
Yeah.
He looked like a legitimate like wrestler. I was like, wow, that actually looks pretty.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So everything else, looking.
Yeah, the zoom feature is really nice. That's a bang up job by Robert there. That looks
I'm
great.
digging that. I'm digging that, man. Every build gets a little bit better. We got to do a different background. Well, maybe we don't, because I was going to say we need something to contrast the black tights. But if you're wearing white tights, this would look just fine.
No, we'll figure all that out. I mean, that's we could put him in a ring. We could put him in a number of places.
Exactly. Wow, Damien Demento reference in chat. That's pretty good. Jerry Only from the Misfits. Jerry Only came to my town and played a show about 2 years ago.
Were you telling that story on Facebook the other day? Like, for some reason, when you just said that, I was like, I've heard this story recently. For some reason, maybe not. I can't remember.
I don't know. It's weird though, because I live in the middle of nowhere. In the middle of nowhere, and I couldn't believe he came to town. Although. Yeah, it's weird. The character info is something we want to work on, because when you go to the character matchup screen, maybe I'll do that here. Let me just
You talking about the
exit
icons?
the edit. Well, I just want to show people the matchup screen, which looks wicked, except for the fact that it's kind of fake. So, yeah, if you look at the matchup screen here, we've got these nice flags and the tail of the tape. But that's actually going to be the same for every wrestler, no matter who you pick right now, because it's kind of placeholder based on a mock-up that our dearly departed.
Well, that was Cola. That was Cola back in the day.
Who?
That was back in the day.
Yeah,
back in the day.
Back in the day. Yeah,
Back in the day before
So
he got Future Endeavored.
That's right. Before the casket match. Yeah.
He was buried alive.
Yeah. He did this
no.
wicked matchup screen for us in character select. So all this tail of the tape stuff it's going to be the same no matter who you pick right now. So it is what it is, to use a term that's overused. But so we're good. What we want to do is in a future update, obviously, give you some access to actually tweak all that stuff for your wrestler, his bio, and his finishing move and all that stuff, and pick a flag and all that. We did hear from someone about a mistake. If you look on the right-hand side under player 2, El Santa Muerte, or however you say that, apparently the L is wrong and it should have been La.
Yeah,
Eric,
I think some of that stuff. It's a tough call because I think certain proper nouns are feminine and certain proper nouns are masculine, and that would be the difference. Like one's L, one's La. So I'm assuming that the wrestling genre, like the finish or the moves or something, are more in the feminine. But that's, again, you're looking at somebody who had like a semester of. I actually had. Here's a little bit of random trivia for you. I had the same Spanish teacher that Rob Van Dam did. How's that for you?
Nice. Yeah, the same dealer.
We both had the same, because we both went to the same high school. Yeah, about 3 years apart, 3 or 4 years apart.
I don't. That reminds me to bring up something, but I don't want to be a downer on anybody just yet. I just want to point out, I think someone new to our Twitch broadcast, Mr. GBP Productions 84, asking, does this game play like No Mercy? So you haven't played it yet. I think I've seen you on Facebook asking that question. And our goal is to get the game playing similar to No Mercy. Pardon me for a sec. I have to belch really loud. I'm going to be obnoxious. Thanks to the mute button.
Thanks for sparing us.
Hey, no problem. No Mercy in the Aki games, that's like our gold standard, right? So a lot of the core game mechanics, like the way it moves and grapples and strikes and blocks, totally we are going for a N64 No Mercy kind of vibe. But we want to take it further than that, and as the game morphs, it might get away from it, but I don't want to think of it as getting away from the Aki. I want
Well,
just
we
like the
always said
sign.
if, yeah,
in the
No
audience.
Mercy and Fire Pro had a child, like we would be.
Well, just like the
next game.
sign in the audience, what would Aki do? We kind of think, well, you know, if we want to add something to the game that Aki never did, we kind of think, well, how would they have handled it? You know, so the game might evolve along the lines of if Aki was still around making wrestling games, we'd like to think that, you know, they might make a lot of the same decisions we're making with Pro Wrestling X because we can, right? So that's what I'm thinking. If you're listening to the Twitch broadcast and you're wondering about the game, you haven't played it yet, you might not be aware, especially if you're not a heavy user of the Steam platform, but you can actually, buy the game, and if you don't like it and it sucks or it doesn't work on your system specs, you can get a full refund for the game. And obviously, it sounds kind of stupid for someone to be promoting, "Hey, get a full refund," but that should you should know it's an option.
Well, we're not shying away from it. I mean, like I said, it sucks when people will download it and then just lulls and then just get the money back. But it's all good.
I feel bad.
We're going to try to live up to this stuff. We try to do this stuff. We're not trying to trick anybody into their losing money.
Yeah, exactly. So it's risk free. You can try the game 100% risk free and get your money back if it doesn't work for really any reason. I feel bad for the game developers that purposely make short but really beautiful, awesome games that can be finished in a couple days, and people are playing them, enjoying them, getting their money's worth.
That was the latest one. What was that game that Panic developed? Oh gosh. I bought it and I couldn't run it. It was
another game you couldn't run.
No, this one was because I have got the wrong. I don't have 64-bit Windows running. I've got 32-bit for some idiot reason. It was. Where is it? Firewatch. That's the game.
Oh, cool.
Very much critically acclaimed. Beautiful game. They actually did something where you could take you kind of walk through and take pictures, and nobody knew this when the game first launched. You go around and take all these pictures. They would save them and then mail you physical prints of the pictures that you took as a surprise.
Shut up! That is brilliant.
Really, really cool.
Wait a minute. They would have to get your mailing address.
I think it's connected to your Steam account, I believe.
That's kind of creepy, but
Joe
cool.
was making fun of my computers. 4 gigs of RAM and 32-bit system. Eric, I think it's time to bin the computer and start over. You know what?
Get used to Joe making fun of you. I'm glad he switched to you.
That's fine. You know what? Somebody's got to be the Luddite. Somebody's got to be the lowest common denominator.
My first computer had 16 megs of RAM, and I thought that was too much.
Hey, I'm still on my Mac. I think this tower might be older than some of our people in chat.
Somebody asked, how are we going to handle the thumbnails? Yeah, you know what? You're right. How are we going to handle thumbnails?
I actually think they ought to just be able to upload something image.jpg.
That would be great.
For me, I think every character ought to be a zip file. And then you just dump a bunch of zip files in a directory and it automatically reads. That's what I'd love to see. Yeah. Whether that's programmatically possible, I have no idea. So.
I don't think programmatically is a word, but yeah.
It is. Programmatically.
Is it?
I think.
Okay, cool. The first 3 characters obviously have their thumbnails because our artist who shall not be named made them for this screen. The rest of them are just cutouts, and if you scroll through them, you see we got
the infamous mystery generic avatar man.
Yeah, exactly.
Which
but somebody mentioned
for a character.
Somebody actually made a Culgan. Was that you? Yeah. Had a good idea. Why not just use screenshot mode to save an icon? Take a shot of your
put a circle up on the screen and just crap it when you want.
Not too bad. Day of Reckoning 2, or was it even Day of Reckoning 1 had the option to kind of frame a headshot of your created. Yeah, so yeah, we'll do that. Some useless wrestling game trivia. Yeah, they had that. Joe said, the stats are great. Now if we can just get wrestlers who actually wrestle in pure Risu style. Yeah, I know, man.
We're working on it.
We actually Yeah, we actually have some wrestlers designed, Japanese wrestlers, which is pretty cool. Yeah, you're right. I'm just looking through the questions now. Making fun
Yeah,
of
they're
Eric.
just all getting making fun of me. That's what it's descended to. That's great. That's great. Thanks a lot, guys. Make me feel real loved.
Exactly. So yeah, that's what we got going on, man. Each of these slots here, you can edit and rename the wrestler and change them up. So we'll have some more creative wrestler slots. So that's pretty cool.
Well,
think
I
that's
still
kinda
want
neat.
us to be part, like the crew, the crew to be part of the game.
What would your finisher and special ability
Well,
be?
I've already been told that somehow, like, you guys are going to make it so that you're going to put me that my finishing move is the worm, and if that happens, I'm going to hate you guys forever. I told you, I just want to be a
Hey,
ref.
look at this. It's Ryback, the machine.
No,
Is that
that's like, that's like kind of like a Kurt Angle with the stars.
Is it? It's kind of Kurt Angle.
Kind of like Kurt Angle, like it's like Rybangle.
I feel bad for Ryback, man. He got freaking humiliated at WrestleMania, and then I watch him on that Table for Three show, and he's such a nice guy.
Ryback's a great guy. I don't have
Yeah.
any desire to see him wrestle. There's nothing there for me. The
Well, it's
best
that
Table for
monster
Three
squash thing.
is, and you may have already watched it. It's the one with the Miz. Oh God, it's the Miz. Is it not DiBiase? Is it Miz? Maybe it's Cesaro. It's the one with the Miz.
Is it? Oh, wait.
I don't think it's Cody.
Which one? You're right. It's not the Intercontinental one.
Hang on here.
That one was funny. You see that one with Dan O'Brien and Ryback and
Yes, I thought that was okay. I thought the R-Truth and Curtis Axel, those three, like they were better than anybody's, and it was like the three like jobbers. I think Miz is so underrated. I think he's the best heel in wrestling right now, and the stuff he's doing with Maurice is just hilarious.
Can we just give the Miz a straight heterosexual high five for Maurice? Because dude, Maurice,
that
come
is
on.
How that happened. I will never know, but more props to them. And they're funny. They're funny. They are just killing it with the. God, they did a spot a couple of weeks ago on Raw where he was like, he almost drank like the city water, and she like slapped it out of his hands, and he started gagging and choking, and it was just like, oh my God, like it wasn't mineral water. And it's just, it's such great classic old school heel mannerisms.
She was, she had so much heat when she was wrestling.
She was
they
great.
Came and did a house show here about 3 or 4 years ago. They did a house show, while she was obviously still at the company. And when she walked out and just freaking flicked her hand like she did, she got the loudest.
They've got, how people got that it thing. She's got that it thing, and that's just because she's attractive, but she's got like the mannerisms, she plays that stuck up. Oh my God, it's so good, so good. And so I don't know how much, like if she's just kind of out here for a temporary kind of a gig, or if she's going to be part of the roster full time. But I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it.
Oh yeah, I don't know like why she came back if she left in the first place, but yeah. I mean, she made the decision to leave, right?
Well, I don't, because they didn't really have a family. I would just think it'd be hard to be on the road and all that kind of stuff. I mean, it's
Yeah, that could be.
But I don't know. Like I said, I would. We've got a comment in chat saying rumors that maybe pushing the Miz to the main event level. Fine, I would gladly accept that.
Oh yeah.
It's been fun watching AJ in the main event scene now, though. He's kind of challenging Roman for the next. They're teasing the Bullet Club pretty hard. Styles is playing the face who's surprised that his former buddies would be attacking Roman, and it's kind of funny. It's almost like I said, we're gonna see if AJ. For me, I think he ought to just be like super mega baby face and then let Roman just turn heel already. But I don't know. It kind of looks like they're going the other direction. They're going to start, AJ's going to be one of the top heels in the company or something. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how it all shakes itself out.
I marked out so much the other day. I was just getting gas, and walked into the gas station to pay, and there was AJ on the cover of Pro Wrestling
Saw
Illustrated.
that, PWI, yep.
That was nice, man. Like, he
The man has paid
he
his
was
dues.
helping us. He's been helping us. He was helping us back in the early days. I remember he had just
Very early.
joined TNA. He had just joined TNA, and he was the internet darling that nobody had heard of. Well, the internet had heard of, right? So it's so cool to see him rocking the WWE now.
I got to tell you, I'm looking forward to this global cruiserweight tournament that WWE is putting on. I think that's a brilliant move. They're using the indies to set up like the you got to wrestle your way in kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Just brilliant. I think I think indie wrestling is where everything's at right now, and you got atmospheres like NXT is starting to tap into some of that stuff. And said Triple H ain't no dummy. He sees where all the action is these days and where all the heat is. These smaller, less corporate, more intimate venues is where it's at now. So it's gonna be interesting to see how it all plays itself out.
Yeah, you got to give props to Triple H, man. Whether it's sincere or not, he's kind of got his finger on the pulse, So
Got to say hi to Handlebar Orion X. I don't recognize that name being in chat before, so hopefully it's a new visitor. So
I wish I'd seen him for some reason.
he just
Chat
popped in.
is
Just popped in.
I'm still looking at Joe's. I know you're a web nerd comment is the most recent one.
See if it scrolls down. See if it because it's been scrolling on my end.
Really? No, that's not.
Maybe you need a new computer, Dave. Maybe something a little more modern, like what I'm running.
Yeah, I know. I need a computer with a scroll bar. I should do that.
Pro Wrestling
I should
X
totally go to like Best Buy or something and tell the salesman I need a computer with a scroll bar and make him demonstrate it for me.
It's awful. That used to be my sporting move, is to go to Best Buy and like interfere with the salespeople as they're trying to like rip off these old ladies who don't know what they're buying. I do that all the time. Yeah, I'd go in there and like they try to like convince them that they need like 180 megs of RAM in order to be able to check their email. It's just shit like that. It used to just piss me off so bad. So I'd go in there and like pull them aside and say, "This guy's full of crap. Just buy the $500 computer and you'll be fine."
I like the Genius bar. You gotta love the geniuses at the Apple Store, man.
Yeah, some of them are pretty smart.
Oh yeah, obviously some of them have to be, but some of them not so much. I should pay attention.
I'm not buying for a second that Shane has anything to do with what's going on behind the scenes. I think that is. I think he is just playing a role on television, and Vince is.
Yeah, I think he signed off and sold his interest when he left the first time. I think that was legit.
I don't know. Why would he do that? You'd keep skin in the game. You'd have to.
A little bit, but I don't think he'd actually make a play for the company at this point.
No. I just mean like the storyline of him being and like booking Raw. I think he's just playing a character on the screen. But the Raw.
I think everybody needs to take a break. I think everybody needs to pause and go watch Beyond the Mat again. It might be old, but you'll see that the buck stops with Vince each and every day, man.
But I said the game. Excuse me, I've been up all night trying to fix some computer problems, clearly, and the Raws have been better. The ratings aren't bumping up, but they've been so much better. I just don't think you're ever going to see those glory days of those ratings up in the 6th.
Yeah.
I just don't think. I think wrestling's just not.
Something will happen. So, I mean, obviously, if the WWE or wrestling in general lasts another 10 years, something's going to happen that we haven't foreseen. True. But speaking of which, do you think Pro Wrestling X will outlive TNA? The rumors are vicious.
Ooh, no, well, I think the Harris twins are buying it. Did you hear that?
I heard that.
There's a marketing company, and those two are the ones that are kind of big players with that, and they're making a play for it. I don't know. Like I said, I root for TNA. Their shows have been better lately, and I said anything that gets the boys, the men and women, a paycheck, fine. Keep it around, please.
Yeah. But speaking of getting a paycheck, I don't think that's even happening quite so much these days.
I don't read any of the dirt sheets or anything like that when it comes to that kind of stuff. But like I said, I said I want competition. I want said men and women to get paychecks, and so I want to see TNA do well. I really do.
I'd love to see TNA do well, but God, didn't they have their shot when they had a live show on Spike with Hogan, Angle, and Sting? It's like,
well, but that's
if you
the
can't
problem.
make it happen
Hogan,
with
Angle,
that.
and Sting were all well past their primes, and it just people gave it a chance. I mean, as I said, it's been better. Like I said, any match that I catch lately, the guys are working hard. They got Shane Helms kind of helping out behind the scenes, and I think he's the little on-camera talent too. And he knows, and he's they're working hard. So,
man, Joe, you're being just a moody little bitch in chat tonight. Once Cena, Orton, Rollins come back, say goodbye to Zayn, AJ, and KO. Yeah,
see, I disagree.
You know what?
I disagree.
Yeah.
I think Cena is a team player, and I said, if anything. Well, I mean, those guys have earned their spots. I mean, and Seth Rollins, you kidding me? I mean, I can't wait to see Seth Rollins versus AJ. And Sami Zayn, I don't see Sami Zayn being much more I don't see him getting over like Daniel Bryan got over. But that's just me.
Yeah.
But I've also seen, but again, never say never.
Exactly. But speaking of Cena, man, how he could possibly be accused of not being a team player.
I will defend
when
Cena
he was
to any of the markiest of the marks. Yeah. I will defend Cena. I know people get tired of the Cena always wins and all this kind of stuff, but
he doesn't.
He puts people over. He makes them look like
he
rock
let
stars.
himself get embarrassed by Lesnar. You know what I mean?
He really did.
Yeah.
And he helped out. I mean, like I said, he put over Kevin Owens on his first night in the company, or his first match. I mean, and he works hard. He gives everybody he'll wrestle anyone. And I don't care what anybody says. He's a good wrestler. I'm not buying into the hate. I think wrestling fans just really like to hate things. I'm trying really hard. It happens to me too. But I'm trying really hard to just sit back and just enjoy wrestling. I mean, you look at it. Look at the roster that we've got. We've got AJ, Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins. I mean, this is a roster we never thought we would see. Cesaro. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's just insane. It's insane.
To me, it's almost a moot point because, as far as I'm concerned, the number one most entertaining, must-see, can't-miss aspect of the whole WWE machine is the Edge and Christian show on the network.
That's any good?
I can't believe how much I think it's good.
Really?
It's so
I looked at those previews and I thought, oh my God, this looks so horrible. And so I've avoided it because I didn't want to ruin my image of those guys.
Oh, dude, it's if you like their humor, it's hilarious. But it's so full of inside jokes.
Well, maybe I'm going to have to give this a whirl. I was so scared because all the previews, that they were showing on the network, it looked really bad. I was like, oh my God, this looks really,
the jokes
really
are
bad.
So obviously a lot of self-deprecating jokes and whatnot, but obviously me retelling anything they do is not going to be half as good as them doing it. But one of my favorites was they were eating a box of chocolates, right? Christian pulls out a chocolate. He's like, wow, it started, and then it got more intense, and it really started building, and then it was so good, and I just wanted to see more, and then it's gone. It's over. Oh, what flavor is it? Cesaro.
Okay, that's pretty funny. Okay, I may have to give this a whirl then. Okay.
Oh, and then they got cameos from everybody, from Virgil to Brutus the Barber. It's the kind of show you would have made when you were 14. You know what I mean?
Okay. So, and you've seen my backyard stuff back in the day. I think you have it.
Well, yeah, I think I have. Yeah.
Yeah. God. Oh God. One of these days I'm gonna have to unearth that. I'm gonna have to.
It's. And they bring Tommy Dreamer on all the time, and they make him just the butt of all the jokes. I saw that
Bailey was beating the shit out of him with a Singapore cane the other day, and I thought that, okay, Bailey's on there, I'll watch it.
Yeah, that was pretty good, man. Yeah, I love it. Oh yeah, the Shockmaster. Yeah,
Okay,
of
so I'm
course they
gonna.
have to
Okay,
mention.
I'll have to. Okay, all right. You've convinced me that at least I'm willing to give it a whirl for a couple episodes. So
Well, it's like anything else. They started, they kind of found their groove and found their voice. If you actually watch it backwards from the most recent episodes, which are the best, I think.
okay.
Good way to do it.
Let's see.
I
Handlebar
mean,
thinks that we're endorsing probably a presidential candidate. The keel needs to be more obvious.
the
Not that I'm
Keelys
not
were all-
necessarily not feeling the burn, but it's like I don't want us to start taking sides and.
That was a joke. And so, if I can give a quick background, I'm just going to pause it here. Give a quick background on the inside joke behind that sign for people who might not even know, right?
Zoom in on it screenshot mode so people can see the whole thing.
But back in the day, our favorite game was No Mercy for Nintendo 64, and the producer of the game was a guy named Sanders
Dude, take a
Keel.
screenshot of that. You need to put that on our Instagram account.
Yeah, I actually should. Well, I'll tell the whole story, but
Yeah.
but Sanders Keel made No Mercy, and then after No Mercy, the GameCube came out, WrestleMania 18, the first few SmackDown games, which weren't well received, and I'll put that mildly. Sanders Keel was also the producer on those games. He
You
was
could
working
make a
as
case
producer.
that Sanders Keel was the genesis of Pro Wrestling X. In
Yeah.
terms of the outrage towards this man.
Well, that's that. I'm going to try to tell the story as short and sweet as possible. But Sanders, I didn't know Sanders was necessarily the producer of No Mercy. I knew him as the producer of the games I hated, WrestleMania 18 and the first few SmackDown games. And the genesis of Pro Wrestling X was me hating on those games on online forums. And then one day I found Sanders Keel on a THQ forum, the publisher that used to do the WWE games that he worked for. And me and another Pro Wrestling X crew member at the time, Mel Hauser, we lit into this guy on the THQ forums in the worst, most obnoxious freaking online harassment you could possibly do. We lit into this guy for how much he sucks and how much he let down the wrestling gamers. And fast forward to recent times, he actually ended up, Sanders Keel found us on Kickstarter a few years ago doing our campaign. And the guy, after all the grief I gave to him, actually contributed to the campaign and wished us luck and gave us a nice quote to use for our campaign, right? How we supported the project. So here I am now, older, wiser, more mature, feeling like the world's biggest asshole douchebag for the way I treated him. And we talked on the phone a few times and everything, and turned out to be, obviously, super nice, cool guy, a lot of wrestling love and respect and whatnot, So I just thought it was kind of a funny take on things.
This is probably the best sign that you've done. Like, in terms of, like this is pretty clever. This is actually pretty clever. This is why I'm blessing this one. Some
Well, he
of
gave
them
me the
are,
thumbs
no,
up.
but this one gets the full Eric blessing on this one. I think that's a double thumbs up on that one for sure.
Sanders gave me a thumbs up on it too, man. I posted it and sent it to him on Facebook, and he got
Did
a
you
laugh.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he got a laugh out of it and gave me the thumbs up on it, so I got his blessing to do that. So that's a
Cool.
little inside joke to all the old school original wrestling gamers who actually know who Sanders Keel
I
is.
was trying to think if there was like a takeoff on the Feel the Burn hashtag. Like if we could do like a Feel No Mercy or like something like that. Or I don't know. I'm just trying to think of like it's a funny spoof on all the politics stuff, regardless of how you feel about the guy. It's like
Yeah.
you can't escape Bernie Sanders online. It's really hard to do.
Well, it's funny, and then I made another sign because somebody kind of posted a comment to that one, making a spoof of the Donald Trump slogan. Someone said,
Dude, check out the story that Handlebar's telling in chat really quick. Not to interrupt, but this is a good one.
But someone's posted "Make wrestling games great again," which I thought was a funny idea for a sign too. And so far, we haven't been, harassed for any of our political signs and screenshots. People get the jokes, right?
Well, that's the thing.
So
As long as it's yeah. Yeah, he once brought his copy of WrestleMania X8 to a Fans Bring the Weapons match at an AAW show in Illinois. That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny.
That's too hilarious.
Was WrestleMania X8, was that a GameCube? Is that disc?
Yeah, that
So
was
so it's like a CD, so it's like a DVD
yeah, yeah.
case.
Well, the GameCube used a little mini discs, right? And that was actually one of the first images I think we ever posted on Wrestling Gamers United was we posted a picture of WrestleMania 18 in cat litter box.
Oh my God! I'll bet I've got this around here somewhere on a hard drive. Somewhere I've got, like I said, I've got a repo of like every image I ever found, like Pro Wrestling X History, because I wanted to build that book for our Kickstarter. And,
I hope you have a lot of the images because
you've lost
funny
the hard
story,
drives over the years.
funny story. Last year, I backed up all of my computer's hard drives over the last 10 years to a backup hard drive. Last year, my family would leave town for a week or so, and one of the things I'm paranoid about is people breaking into my house while I'm gone, right? So this hard drive that is so valuable to me because it's got every computer I ever owned back up onto it, I hide it. So if anybody breaks in, they're not just going to grab my computer, and I can't find it. It's been almost a year, and I don't know where the hell I put it. My wife secretly suspects I hid it in the garbage can and we threw it out. I'm like, no way I would do anything that stupid, knowing full well I've done things much more stupid than that. So I'm still looking for my hard drive with the history of Pro Wrestling X and all my daughter's baby photos.
I was gonna say, yeah, you do. That's harsh.
Well, I still have the, because I'm also paranoid, I actually kept all the hard drives out of all those computers, so push comes to shove.
I guess you could just recopy them over again, yeah?
Well, yeah, I've got, plus I've got an extended family member who he's in computer forensics for the RCMP, which is like the FBI of Canada. So, I figure if he can take a busted-in-half hard drive and find child porn on it and bust somebody, I'm sure he can find all my shots.
Find all your child porn? Is that what you're saying, Dave? That's gross.
Don't even joke, man. Because
wait a minute. That was a joke, ladies and gentlemen. That was a joke. Don't need our boy getting arrested. Don't need our CEO getting. Don't need him pulling a Jared from Subway. We don't need that. Eat fresh.
He actually busted it. It was actually in the news. They busted a college professor for distributing that stuff in town.
I think that stuff is more prevalent. I think people just got. Plus, the other thing too is I think a lot of people are distributors and they don't even know it. Where they get viruses, and then they become relays for that stuff and they don't realize it.
Oh yeah.
So,
but this guy, they well, apparently we're getting way off topic here, but apparently when the police and whatnot when they decide to go ahead and press charges against somebody for that, it's not on a whim. They'll spend investigating to make sure it's rock solid.
Yep.
Tight case before they do it. But still, this guy actually freaking had the freaking gall, and his lawyer, they actually launched the defense of freedom of speech, and it's erotica. It's not. I'm like,
you can't. No.
Yeah, I know.
No jury's going to get past that one.
I used to teach, back in my earlier days, I would teach guitar, and one of my students was a prison guard. An old dude, old prison guard with the handlebar mustache, and he would just tell me horror stories. He's like, yeah, if a guy ever comes into prison and he's ever hurt a kid, the honor amongst thieves kind of code of the criminals thing, he's like, you hurt a kid? He's like, they're going to take a guitar string, they're going to wrap it around your unmentionables and pull them off, and the guards will walk as slow as legally possible to call the ambulance.
Wow. Boy, our chat I said our talk turned. It took a right turn, didn't it? Holy crap. Joe's sitting there talking about a Canadian chapter of NAMBLA.
Oh, you know what?
Wow. That thing took a 90-degree turn, didn't it?
And on that note, we went kind of long tonight, man.
We're at an hour 10. It's probably time to wrap it up. Before we get ourselves in any deeper here tonight.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Exactly.
Good Lord. Sorry, gang. Yeah, Gong.
We don't want the RCMP monitoring this to have to stay up any later, right?
Yeah, not, might as well throw in an Al Qaeda reference or ISIS, right? God. Really round it all out here.
Not that I want to take another turn, but
oh God, I'm almost scared to know.
We had an election here last year, right? and our version of the Republican Party were in power. We call them the conservatives here, the Conservative Party, and they went really negative and did the whole vote for us, we'll protect you from ISIS, and all this kind of stuff. And Canada's never been attacked by ISIS. So everyone's like, what the hell are you talking about, right? But I just thought it was odd that they went really all in on the whole fear, terror thing, and they were resoundingly defeated, which is almost the opposite of what happens in your country.
So that's the thing, is that's not a popular even around here either. It's not. I mean, nobody thinks Trump's going to win. In general, even if it goes against Hillary, if it's Trump versus Hillary, I think you're just going to find a lot of people that are just like not going to vote. I think people just hate them both. I think Bernie's the only one. I think Bernie's the only one that engenders any kind of like positive feedback, because Cruz is kind of people think he's a nut job too, and I think I'd take Trump over Cruz. But I think it might just be time to like find a bunker in the woods and hunker down for a little while.
It's definitely turning into, like, I don't, obviously, just so people know, Eric is American, living in Michigan. I'm Canadian, living up in Alberta, and I get all of my American political news from, like, the Daily Show, the Samantha Bee Full Frontal, and Larry Milmore Show, right?
Oh, is it official? Did Sanders? Sorry, I'm interrupt because Sanders lost to. Looks like Clinton beat him in New York tonight. That was good. It was expected, but I think the difference was like could he pull the shocker, and then plus the how close did he make it, kind of a thing. So
how close did he make it? Do you know?
I have no idea. I just heard this for the first. I kind of forgot that it was even on tonight. I have taken kind of a wake me in November and I'll start paying attention again, because this election cycle's been so awful that I just can't deal with it anymore. I think a lot of people are that way too, which is too bad, because politics are we need some good people in politics, and we're just not getting it anymore.
I don't know. Again, I'm not terribly educated in American politics, but I really wish that lady that I know a little of, Elizabeth Warren, had run. Man, she seems like she's got her shit together.
I think she is a better person in Congress right now. She's kind of a firebrand, and I think, boy, she lit into Ted Cruz on Twitter tonight. Holy Toledo. I guess Cruz was talking about how hard the campaign's been, and that everybody's been picking on him, and it's just so hard, and she just tore the shit out of him. It was great. It was great. It was like, she's like, what the hell are you talking about? What do you got to complain about? Oh my God. It was just like, it was the sass was in full steam. And I think we need her in Congress, and she needs, she's not ready for president just yet. You got to have a pretty wide skill set when you do president. And she's got a couple of good wheelhouses when it comes to finance reform and some of that stuff, but I don't know about her on a world stage yet or anything like that. So,
well, I think I agree with. I don't want to make myself look stupid by getting the reference wrong, but I think I agree with what I think Louis C.K. said, which was, back in the day, it simply swung back and forth on a regular basis. For 4 or 8 years, if you were Democrat, you were happy, and your Republican friends weren't, and then it would swing back, and your Republican friends were happy and made fun of you, and you weren't, and then it would swing back and forth, Mm-hmm. He's like, now we don't just tease or joke with each other. We're punching each other and threatening gunfire. Yeah. It's kind of it's a crazy world, man. But at the end of the day, we all play wrestling games, so it's all good.
That's kind of where it's kind of like, at the end of the day, like for me, like I just keep coming back to like the one thing that we all can agree on is that the Yankees suck. And that's going to get me some heat, because I think we got a couple New York people in chat. Yankees suck, Patriots suck. Like those are the common things like that we can all kind of agree upon.
Well, and the thing is,
sales plummet in the northeastern states of the United States.
Well, our sales would probably plummet if we were honest about everything. I mean, honestly, like, if you look at Pro Wrestling X, if you're going to support it, don't do it for any political reason. Because I tell you, man, if you look at the amount of people who are responsible for getting the game from day one to here, you've got everyone from gun-toting, conservative, born-again Christians on the Pro Wrestling X crew to total total left-wing liberal, transgendered, people on the crew, right? So,
well, you had one of them who was like freaking like I remember being like there's liberal, and then there's like anarchist, and then there was this guy who was like chaotic neutral, just rooting for like the whole world to burn down, and you're like, dang, bro, have a cupcake or something, man. It's gonna be all right.
There used to be fights in the studio when we had everybody in the same room, which wasn't always a good idea because political ideologies would be opposites, and sometimes it would get pretty. You're
gonna have to tell me the right wing. I didn't know we had one of the gun toter on the crew. I don't remember that.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Like, Pro Wrestling X is freaking the United Nations of wrestling game developers, man. Because it's funny, like everybody came together because they wanted to do this awesome wrestling game. We all had that in common, and then all of a sudden, you've got the born again Baptist looking funny at the transgendered artist, going,
Wow, I didn't know that. Okay.
It's like we better learn to get along. Yeah, and it was funny because everybody did. Everybody got along freaking fantastically because we were all wrestling gamer developers before they realized how wide apart they were politically. It was pretty funny.
Well, that's just it. Even our current crew. I mean, we're probably all fairly like-minded, but we're all from different backgrounds. We're all which is strong. We need more women. We need some women on the crew eventually down the road. But we're trying. To get and but we're all coming from like a respect, for like women's wrestling and all that stuff. That's going to be that's what I can't wait for. I think that's the next big revolution is the women's wrestling. It's certainly true. Wait. They're talking about trying to get WWE to have them main event like an actual pay-per-view like SummerSlam or something, like a Charlotte versus Sasha.
Oh, that would be.
RP with the Mr. Robot reference. That was did you ever see that one?
Did I ever see it? Only religiously.
Mr. Robot was wonderful. I caught up to it late, but I binged on it, and I loved it.
It was so different and so weird, and I went into it with no expectations. I just saw it in my queue. You might like this, and I watched the first episode. Okay, all right, I'll watch the next one, and then it got more and more what the fuck as it went along.
For me, I was hooked from the first minute because, like, for me, I was so respectful. Like they got the hacker culture. They didn't just do like stupid, when you're typing down an interface and like hacking attempt, blink, 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 blink. And
I know, right?
No, it's not like that. They understood the culture. They understood the references. It was great. So
what I get is, unless I'm a complete naive idiot, I think they totally film it on location in New York and Coney Island and all that stuff, right? So it looks really cool, man. I'm digging it.
All right, dude. I think we're almost at 90 minutes here. We should wrap and.
Before we start a political
start telling people what we almost ended up naming the company.
Dude, you know what? I'm gonna tell it. I don't care.
Tell the story. It's a funny one. It's a good one.
Okay. Here's the backstory. We've got Wrestling Gamers United, which I own, which develops Pro Wrestling X. But I'm doing a round of financing and funding right now, where I have to sell stock in the company to some very generous people, and in order to do that, I had to do some restructuring of the legal entity. And I didn't want to rename Wrestling Gamers United, so I decided to create, we're going to create this umbrella kind of corporation, to just take care of all the legal necessities of financing, right? And you have to name it. So the government here in Canada, the way they take care of this is you have to submit a name search, and you have to pick a whole bunch of names, because the way they do it, which is kind of stupid, is you submit a handful of names and they tell you which one you get, right? Based on making sure it's not similar to somebody else's names, there's no confusion in the marketplace and all this kind of stuff. So
Joe, sorry to interrupt, David. Joe, it's not a public. Like, it's not like turning public, like we're going to be on the stock exchange. This is just like setting up so that we can accept financing, so that people can have like stakes in the company and all that stuff. This is all private financing, yeah.
Eric, why didn't I choose Jam Tart Incorporated?
Oh, shit! All right, please finish your story, and I'm going to
Well,
like.
here's the good news. Here's the good news. You can rename your corporation at any time, and Jam Tart just might have to become.
Oh
the name.
my God! Oh
But,
my God! Why didn't? Okay, yeah, okay, keep going. Then we'd have to give Joe stock in the company. Then
I know, right? So I had this name that I'm not. I don't know. Don't really want to reveal it yet. Maybe we'll save that for something down the road. But I had this name that I wanted. And my strategy was, okay, if I have to submit a handful of names, I'm going to submit the one I want, and then I'm going to make other names so unbearably offensive that there's no way they would award me these other names, right?
I can't believe you actually did this.
Oh, yeah, the lady at the license where I went to submit it, she was reading them. She was like howling. She's like, there's no way you're doing this. I'm like, yeah, it'll work, trust me, right? So I list of names. One of them was the one I wanted. Then there was Hitler. That's one of my names. And
With
then,
exclamation points.
with exclamation points. Hitler, exclamation point, Hitler. And then there was, what else did I pick? Oh, Sticky Fingers Proctology Game Development or something. And
the Hitler thing. When I saw you post that, I just started laughing. I was like, "You gotta be kidding me! Come on, man!"
Yeah, I can't even remember what the hell I put.
Jam Tart Inc. Come on, Dave. We've got to change this. I can see that. That's very much along the same lines as like, who was the maker? Candy Crush. Like, what did they call their name? I can't remember, but it sounds like it's like Jam Tart sounds like an app developer company.
Yeah,
that's really funny. Oh, that's really funny.
Oh, okay, I'm doing a Google search for that right now, man. Jam Tart Inc. No, there's no Jam Tart Inc. Bam, bam, bam. Dude, we could totally get Jam Tart. There's nothing even close, because why would there be? It's ridiculous, right?
Why would there be? Oh, goodness.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but then all of our Google searches are going to be jamtart.com is gone. I'm just going to click on that. Just
is it? Really?
Well, because you know it's going to be like some, just somebody squatted on it. Those jerks. I thought it would be like...
is Jam Tart Inc. taken?
We probably shouldn't be saying this in the...
It doesn't matter. I got a name already. It's a perfectly fine name, but yeah. Are you still screen sharing?
You can get jamtart.business.
Really? But can you get jamtartinc.com? See that?
Yeah,
there you go.
You actually can. You actually could.
That's hilarious.
That's so funny.
Joe, you might have just picked the future name of the company. That's too funny.
We have to give him a something. We have to put him in the game now or something.
Well,
he deserves to be in the game anyway.
Dude, we've given him the most perfect gift of all.
AlbertaCorporations.com. There's something called Jam Tart Holdings Inc.
What?
No.
You're kidding. Well, you know what? They'll still give me the name.
Unbelievable. If look at that. That is like a thing. Alberta Corporation, Jam Tart Holdings Inc.
Okay, here's the rule, though. That might show up. I've been through this with them because the name I picked has actually been used.
26 Wimbledon Court, St. Albert, Alberta.
Oh, that's not even a place. That's like a suburb of frickin' Edmonton. You can have the same name if you're not in the same industry. You know what I mean? So you could have Jam Tart Games and Jam Tart Trucking. And
right. It's the same thing in the United States, as long as they're not in the same industry. That's kosher. Jam Tart Holdings. That actually exists.
Jesus Christ.
Great. Oh my God. Well, anything else we want to dive into? It's I said we're at exactly like 90 minutes. This has been one of our longer ones. So thanks for hanging out with us.
Okay. Well, a few other.
So it was kind of a goofball chat tonight. I don't know. I was really tired going in, and somehow I just kind of caught. We're all over the place here tonight. We Godwind. We talk about Hitler. That's great. That's great. So yeah, it was a good chat tonight. But sorry, like I said, sorry we didn't have couldn't run the new build anyway.
Sorry, I'm just reading in the comments, and I think Handlebar gave us a good idea.
We're still the Sanders Keel screenshot up. We're not even like playing the game anymore.
No, we're just talking now. Handlebar gave me a good idea. We should do Jam Shart.
Oh God! The other thing I suggested we should name it Cyst Stratus. That was the other one that I suggested we ought to name it, and that didn't make the cut. That was still the funniest. That was probably between that and Cola saying, "Oh God, we were talking about cancer scares," and like between that and sharks, like cancer's pretty terrifying. Like you just like out of the blue, you like revealed this fear of sharks. That God, that was
don't even get me started, man. My parents took me to Jaws at the drive-in when I was 7 years old.
Nice. That's good parental.
Until I was like, well, honestly, until I was now, I couldn't even go into an outdoor public swimming pool without being terrified. I vividly remember Jaws when I was like 8 years old. It's ridiculous.
See, I never saw the original Jaws. I saw like Jaws like 3D. That's the one that was part of like when I was.
Awesome. Yeah.
Oh yeah, but I still remember the 3D part where like the shark parts were coming out at you after he blew up. You're like, ew, gross.
Hey, Colgan, good idea. We should change his name. Just change the spelling to C. Cola.
What do you mean change his name? He's no longer with us. He's.
I wanted him to submit a profile picture of himself with a Photoshop Mr. America mask on. Oh, that would just be the best.
I don't. Well, I said we wish him well. It's the
Handlebar, I don't know Handlebar. This is the first time I think I've seen you in chat, but you're freaking killing me with L&R shoulder holdings.
Okay, that's pretty good. That's pretty good too. That one's going to have to get written. I'm writing that one down.
Oh, we should see a Run from Special ink is taken.
Run from Special.
It's a good thing we take
L&R
this seriously.
shoulder holdings is really funny. That is a really. That's almost like that's like a monopoly property, like L&R shoulder, the L&R Railroad Company or something.
I'm sure the investors looking to invest serious money would be thrilled with this conversation, how seriously we're taking it. Right?
L&R shoulder holdings is really funny. That one is really, really funny.
When we have the story mode, we have the story mode where the camera is panning along the street, to the first, arena or something. All these businesses' names have.
Oh, totally. Oh, like on do you ever watch Bob's Burgers?
Yeah.
Like the vacant property next door.
And the special of the day, they're always good, man.
Run from Special is pretty funny. I actually was thinking about like one of my names I was going to suggest was D-Pad or D-Pad Rules.
I like that one.
And but he broke up Handlebar said the analog thumb pad ink or L&R shoulder holdings. That one's right up there with Systratus. That's pretty good.
How about taunt special? That's a good one.
Or just call it taunt. Instead of Hitler. Call it taunt,
oh man, we could keep going. I gotta shut her down for tonight, man. I had a good time tonight, you guys, man.
This was fun. This was a good one.
Yep.
And like I said, we're gonna keep Robert's all over it. I'm sure he's gonna be tearing into this broadcast tonight, and I've already kind of updated him with crash reports and all that stuff. And we definitely appreciate the support. For any newbies, we're at ProWrestlingX.com, Facebook.com/ProWrestlingX, Twitter at ProWrestlingX, Instagram, I think at ProWrestlingX.
Yeah, if you go to our website, ProWrestlingX.com,
that'll get you close.
It's the hub for pretty much everything.
Yeah.
It's all good.
So, rock and roll, gang. Appreciate you hanging out tonight, and we'll talk to you soon.
Yep, thanks a lot, everybody. Appreciate the questions, and the humor is always making my day. I'm going to bed laughing and smiling, so it's all good. We'll keep you up to date on fixing this build with the crashy crash error we're having. Follow us, like Eric said, on social media. Don't forget to check the Steam forums. I try to check those out and post every day, and we'll keep you up to date on what we're doing and making this game bigger, better than ever. It's all good. Thanks a lot, you guys. Have a good night. Cheers.
All right, cheers.